AT フィールドが強すぎる。こっからじゃ拉致が開かないじゃん。このままじゃ勝てないな。よし、試してみっか。人を捨てたエヴァの力見せてもらうわ。モード反転、裏コード、ザ・ビースト。
Hello everyone, and welcome to a new Division 2 video. My name is Rainier888, and before we start with the build and all the details, I just wanted to explain something about the intro. This wasn't my original plan to make the intro like that, because especially, even in games, digital games, I would never ever dare to harm a doggo, especially for a shitty excuse to make a shitty video. It was something unintentionally, as I was running in a control point. I was cornered by some outcast. I decided to run away because I wanted to do something when my shield breaks. I accidentally ran into some black tasks, and when I paused the video, if you see in the beginning, I stopped the video, but I noticed a dead dog there. I don't know, the black task killed him, the outcast killed him, starvation killed him. Anyway, I don't want to drag this out. I wanted to just add my frustration and rage that I took upon all the outcasts and black tasks and all the enemies I found in the area later there while doing the video and using my build. Now that I have shared my feelings about the intro, let's talk about the build, because let's be honest, that's why you're here. I call it the Beast. It has very high survivability, does not rely on a shield, it relies on high bonus armor and extreme healing, and also protection from elites for the various reasons. The bonus armor will be ridiculous thanks to the Memento backpack. Will get, as you will see here, 60% bonus armor every time we pick up a trophy. We have a ridiculous healing, double healing with a fixer drone and the Mender Seeker Mine to just keep healing from the enemies. Protection from elites to prioritize some enemies and leave the elites for last. And the damage output is quite nice even without having any red attributes at all. You don't need red attributes to have decent damage, especially when using the Scorpio in combination with the Memento. The advantages we get by tossing away a shield is the increased speed and maneuverability, where you do not have the shield. If you don't have to run fast with the enemies, you have to keep dropping and getting up your shield. And if you use the cool skills, it can get a little tricky, but with this type of build, cool skills are easier, especially when they have a very long duration. You can use one skill, wait for the cooldown, use the second one, and you will have both of them up all the time. And if you had the shield and one of your skill breaks, you have to activate the skill, wait some seconds before your shield can be activated once again. Another reason is, although the shield is one of the most powerful subjectively and very popular skill to use, especially for close range builds, for some reason people dislike it because you have to use it if you want to go for close range builds to make them easy. That's why I offer you an alternative to go close range, have high survivability without using the shield. And in other words, if you want to go close and personal and dislike using the Crusader shield, this is the build for you. Let's have a closer look at the build. 6 blue attributes, 1 red, 1 yellow. Secondary attributes all have to be yellow, ideally, but if you don't find them, don't worry. We prioritize repair skills and then status effects. But if you don't get as lucky and you get, as long as you get the repair skills and the armor, the build should work. The status effect is bonus because it works best with our primary weapon choice, which is the exotic Scorpio, one of the best, if not the best shotgun out there, and one of my personal favorite weapons with high damage, RPM magazine, attributes, and the unique talent that crowd controls enemies to death and applies other status effects. That's why the status effects attributes work very well. The secondary weapon is open to your preference. I use an AK, just in case I need to pick up enemies from afar. You can use a rifle, whatever you prefer, because honestly 99% of the time I'm using the Scorpio, the primary weapon. That's why it's open to your preference. But the sidearm, the backup boomstick, is surprisingly good. I highly recommend it for this build. High damage and the 2 shots are all we need. I go with the preservation just in case you need some extra armor or kill. And how you can work is every time you empty the clip from the Scorpio, if the enemy is still alive and you switch to the boomstick, bam boom, 2 shots, and 99% of the time the enemy will be dead. The backpack will be the Memento. It's an all-star and irreplaceable in this build. Unfortunately, some builds and Memento can be replaced, but for here we cannot replace it, not for the long-term buff, because 30% damage, 30% skill efficiency and 3% armor regen is very welcome and very good, but the 10% bonus armor per core attribute, that's irreplaceable, because we get 60% for bonus armor for 10 seconds every time we pick up a trophy. No other armor can give us this high amount of bonus armor, that's why it's irreplaceable. The survivability skyrockets with just this, and we will be able to just kill an enemy, pick up the bonus armor, go kill the next enemy with increased damage for our intimidity talent, for the chest piece, and repeat the process and make things easier. 3 pieces of Bellstone Armory for the armor gen, armor kill, incoming repairs, all useful abilities for this build. All core attributes, as I told you, will be armor, repair skills, and status effects. I wasn't very lucky, as I told you, some have not the status effects, and in this case you can just prioritize to have the repair skills, to just have the armor, to just make the build work, the intimidate talent to get an extra damage, as I told you, in combination with the Memento Sparkle bonus armor. And this is how all the pieces should look with armor, repair skills, status effects. The knee pads are budget tough to get an extra 10% shotgun damage. An improvised holster with I was very lucky with armor, status effects and repair skills, and all the mods are protection from elites. That's why we have the improvised holster to reach a very good number for protection from elites. Because I have tried to stack repair skills for this type of build, and honestly it didn't work so well, especially if you get overwhelmed with 3 to 5 enemies. If some of them are elites, with this type of build you can survive much easier. The elites have more hit points, but you can ignore them. You take significantly less damage and prioritize normal and veteran enemies and leave the elite for last. The specialization is also irreplaceable. The Survivalist gives us access to the second healing skill we need, 10% extra damage against status effects enemies, 15% extra healing, 10% protection from elites, all useful. Apart from the weapon, it's okay for some long range enemies, but I rarely use it personally. It's very slow, but all the other attributes you get and all the benefits are great. That's why I go with the survival specialization. And the two healing skills is of course the Fixer Drone, 48,000 almost healing per second, and the Mender Seeker Mine, 50,000 healing per second, without calculating the Mementos backpack, which we will see later how much the difference is for the healing skills and of course all the other stats. The stats themselves are not very impressive, the offensive, because we do not gain so much benefit for critical hit chance, critical hit damage, headshot damage. We cannot stack those. That's why we go with weapon damage, because we have 40% shotgun damage bonus, 25% of damage bonus, but this will be 55% after we get from the Mementos backpack long-term buff, plus 35% from the Intimidate talent each time we get a trophy from the Memento. Survivability is already the game in this build. That's why we have 1,848,000 armor, 184,000 armor on kill, 23,000 armor regen without once again calculating the Mementos buff, and 58% protection from elites, while I have only 12% protection from elite modes. If you find 30% and you get luckier, you will exceed the 60%, which in this case you will survive elites even easier. With all the buffs, the Fixer Drone heals for 54,699,000 per second, the Mender Seeker Mine 58,054 hit points per second, and the other change for our offensive stats is the 55% of weapon damage bonus, as I told you, but our armor regen now is 78,661, making a total of 191,000 at least armor per second, while all our buffs are active, both our skills and Memento backpack is activated, which is quite ridiculous. We gain more armor per second compared to armor on kill. Some tips when using the build: since we have almost 60% protection from elites, the most dangerous enemies are those with the least amount of hit points, the normal and the veterans. Prioritize those, kill first the normals, take bonus armor, go for the veterans, take the bonus armor, finish off finally the elites, which have the most hit points but are not so problematic thanks to our build. The skills will keep you up. Keep an eye on the Mender Seeker Mine because it's on the ground and sometimes explosion may destroy it. If you are not careful, just look at the cooldowns. I have been burned many times when I was taking too much damage. I was wondering why, and my Mender Seeker Mine was destroyed and I hadn't noticed. Try not to run the build with ammo hoarders as I do now, because you will run out of ammo very easy. You do not have any means to gain back ammo unless you are very familiar with a level and where you can find extra ammo crates on heroics in the world. If you have all 30 stacks from the Memento backpack, there's no need now to pick up all the trophies to gain the bonus armor. You gain a ridiculous amount only with one or two is more than enough to survive 2 to 3 enemies. You can see it for yourself, try it a little bit and take full advantage, because sometimes enemies come in waves, and in that point you can plan ahead, leave the trophies run around. When 5 enemies come all together, especially if they're not elites, which you will take increased damage, pick up one trophy at a time to get the bonus armor. As you go close the gap with an enemies, take the other bonus armor and repeat the process, and you will probably never be able to die again. Finally, if you see this video during the Golden Bullet Global event, it works very good. You just have to be aware of the Golden Bullet targets. Even elites will deal increased damage, and that can be dangerous, especially if 2 more than one enemy gains the golden bullet buff. Prioritize those, even if they are elites, ignore the other enemies, get the golden bullet buff, and you can run with ammo hoarders, especially because each time you kill an enemy with a golden bullet, it refills your magazine, and each time you kill an enemy and refresh the duration of the golden bullet buff, you once again refill your magazine for free. One last note, you can run this build in Legendary Summit, not with all directives, but it's quite effective because there is so much cover in most of the floors, and it's easy to utilize this build to just kill one or two enemies, get the bonus armor, go around the corner, kill the rest. You have extreme maneuverability, you're too fast, gain too much bonus armor, and you'll be able to complete most of the floors without much problem. I hope you enjoyed the build. Feel free to try it yourselves, leave any comments and suggestions you have in the section below. In any way we can improve it. Like if you like the video, subscribe to stay tuned for more upcoming videos for the Division 2 and other video games. And for the last message of the day, do not bully nor abuse dogs even in video games. They also deserve our love, our affection and respect. Pet them, play with them, and if you can, just admire them. Thank you all very much for watching and have a wonderful day.
Ready to